So, welcome back to a UCL episode of the Loose Cannons USA.
Nice to hear those words.
It is amazing to hear those words. UCL, UEFA Champions League, Arsenal is finally back.
Yeah, it's been 6 long years, and we could have been there a few times recently, but doesn't matter. We're here now.
Yeah, we're here now, and that's kind of, all that matters is that it's been, 6, 7 years. And as, you know, being a fan of Arsenal Football Club and the players themselves, the coaches, everyone knows the standard that the club holds. And that's to be, one of the best in the Premier League, to be one of the best teams in Europe. And to be one of the best teams in Europe, you have to be in the Champions League. And we are still yet to win a Champions League. So, but we know the standard of the football club is that we should be winning, the Champions League, be champions of Europe.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be that joke. We finished just top four, right? Now, the past few years, kind of wish we were at least just finishing top four. So, yeah, we had that standard before. And now with this Arteta takeover, everyone's got to trust the process slowly but surely. Everyone's impatient. It's gonna come. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get better players. Just making Champions League has gotten us already some better players. Now, if we make some noise. We're looking at a nice run here. Knock on wood, but we should at least make the knockouts, and then hopefully we'll see the draw. Hopefully, keep going from there.
Yeah, looking at it, like you said, Arsenal was always the joke was, we'd always be fourth place. And obviously we just want to get top four every year. And that was our goal for the past, 6, 7 seasons. Obviously always to get first, but you just finish top four to be in Champions League. And now we finally done it after a great, Premier League campaign last year, finishing second place. But now we're in the Champions League. And I think it's time to make some noise. I don't think it should be a standard where it's all right. We haven't been in the Champions League 6, 7 years, so it's okay if we don't do well. I don't think so. I think with the quality our team has, and just the way Europe is going right now, I think we are a team that I'm not sure if we're going to be one of the favorites to win, but I think we could have a good shot of making a decent run and to get far in the Champions League. But before we start getting into the knockout rounds tomorrow, we will start the group stage. So that's, you can't overlook the group stage because look what happened to Barcelona last year. They ended up in Europa League. And after spending 6, 7 years in the Europa League, we don't want to be back there. So you focus on one thing at a time. We got to get, through the group stage. We got to get the work done there first.
Yeah, speaking of the Europa League, I mean, look, 2 years ago we weren't even in European competition. So to go to Europa League last year, almost make Champions League, and now this year finally be back, it's definitely a good feeling. And like you said, you can't overlook the group stages. We got quite a few games coming up. We got PSV, we have Lens, and we have Sevilla. I think Sevilla is always going to be a challenge, but the way they're doing La Liga, they have kind of done similar things before where they haven't started so hot in La Liga, made Europa League, won Europa League, or even stayed up in the Champions League. But I think PSV might be the hardest test in this group with their form right now compared to Sevilla and Lens. Sevilla and Lens in their league aren't doing so hot. They're last or close to last. PSV 4-0. I think it's like 13 goals for, 1 against. They're got to take every game serious.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something that a lot of people may underestimate when they see the draw for the group stage and then look at the other teams. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans were happy with our draw, and I was too. But when I'm looking at it, I'm like, there is no easy game in the Champions League. Doesn't matter who you draw. It's always going to be a tough game. Like, yes, I was happy, but I'm like, you know what? These are good teams. Yes, Sevilla's not in the best form, but they've run the Europa League. They've won it multiple times in the past decade, and they're always a good side. They're a La Liga team, and they always play good. And look at PSV. Some people don't know their form right now. They're undefeated first place in the Eredivisie, and they are a good team. PSV has a lot of good players that eventually they can't keep, so they end up selling. So they are a very talented side. It's not a side to underestimate, and I don't think anything will be a walk in the park. we're gonna have to earn every single point that we get in this group stage. Every minute that we're out there, we have to earn it. Nothing's guaranteed, especially, no matter what league it's in, but especially Champions League. You see some games, where one team's dominating, then the second half, it's just a total reverse. And every game is going to be crazy. It's going to be a hard fight, but the way we're playing, I think that if we come out good, I don't see us having too much trouble. But like I said, anything could happen. But one game at a time, PSV, I hope we're prepared. I trust Arteta, trust the process. I know he's going to get Arsenal best prepared as they should be to go up against PSV and come out tomorrow. And we need a good, strong start and come out and get 3 points.
Yeah, good strong start is true. We've been saying a lot in the Premier League. We should be putting 5, 6 on some of these teams. That's hypothetical. That's the expectation. But teams know what we're coming out with. They have plenty of tape on us. As we saw last weekend against Everton, they'll just sit in a low block. We got to figure out how to move our way around, how to change up the tactics. Arteta's got to find something to click. Maybe get some of those guys that aren't getting some minutes in the Premier League, like an ESR. Trossard is definitely going to be getting some minutes now with that unfortunate injury to Martinelli, a grade 1 hamstring. I had a grade 3 hamstring tear. I know that's not easy. So at least he'll be out about a month or so, hoping all goes well.
Yeah,
That's a big loss.
yeah, that is a big loss, but I hope all goes well with that too. But the way Arsenal has handled business, we've bought depth. So now we have the depth to go into these, midweek competitions and these other tournaments. That's what it's for. And like you said, Trossard, he's going to get a lot of minutes, should start, and I think he's going to make some noise, especially the way he's been playing. But not only that, like you mentioned, we have Emil Smith Rowe, who has not seen any minutes yet. I want him to play, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. Now is a perfect opportunity for him to come get minutes and show us how what he's capable of doing, because we know Emil Smith Rowe is a great player. He's a phenomenal player. Just like some other players who might get more time too, like Kilwiar in the defense. He doesn't get a lot of time in the Premier League, but now is a good opportunity to come on and show like what he has to offer. And he has shown when he has played for us, he plays well. So I'm excited to see players like, Emil Smith Rowe. Even I think Havertz could get some good minutes. I mean, he's obviously started and got a lot of minutes already, but I don't think that's going to continue in the Premier League. So I think Havertz may be able to come on as a sub, potentially start. And yeah, Fabio Vieira, who had his first start in the Premier League, who may get another start. Who knows if they want to rest, give Odegaard, a break from starting and have Fabio Vieira start in the 10 position. So there's a lot of opportunity for other players to get minutes and show what they're capable of. Just like in the goalkeeper position, we saw Raya come in and start against Everton, which we will talk about in another video. But Raya could, get more minutes in the Champions League.
Yeah, Raya definitely could. We'll see how Arteta wants to play that out. Raya had a great game. Obviously, we'll talk about that in the next video. But between Ramsdale and Raya, personally, I'm still on the Ramsdale side. No hate to Raya. Raya probably better with his footwork, his distribution, which is very appealing to a lot of managers. But have complete faith in Ramsdale as well. This group, you can get away with the starting lineup where you're trying to get some guys some minutes, but obviously you can't sleep on any of these teams, like we said. So I wouldn't go completely experimental lineup. I would throw some guys in there, get some confidence up, have our regular starters be ready to go in case of anything. And yeah, I mean, you're going up. You got some notable players here, like Sevilla just signed Ramos, just to name one. Ramos experienced. Ramos was one of the best defenders in the world, if not at one point the best defender in the world. So, like we said, you got to take these games with some seriousness, but we could play around a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And I honestly even forgot about the Ramos signing for going back to Sevilla, back to his roots. But yeah, like I said, Sevilla is another good team. They play in La Liga. Might not be the best start, but they're good in these European competitions, and they've proven that in the Europa League. And they won't be, an easy, pushover. So that'll be a good competition. Even Lens, you see teams come into the Champions League and make some noise. So, I think it was Sheriff the other year that they came in and they won some big games.
Beat
So you see
Madrid.
teams come in, yeah. You see teams come in the Champions League that aren't in the top five league, but come and make some noise. Even look at Ajax. I mean, ever since Ajax had that incredible run in the Champions League, they've been one of the most respected teams outside the top five leagues. And you know what? It's that could be like PSV too. I look at the way PSV and Ajax structure their programs, their clubs. They're great clubs. Always looking to win a division, and they have all their players end up getting signed because they're so good. Top five leagues, the top clubs in the top five leagues. So no game's a pushover. Every game is going to have to be in the Champions League, and one game at a time. We got to go through the group stage, and we got to collect 3 points every game, and hopefully, like we've been saying in the Premier League, get a nice goal differential. It would be really nice to come out and win the first game like 3 or 4-0, even if we concede one. Hopefully, we don't concede, but just put in the back of the net 3 or 4 goals, because I'm just waiting for someone to have a multi-goal game and just be, good. And I think every Arsenal fan is dying for us to hammer a bunch of goals in the back of the net.
Yeah. I mean, expectations are certainly high. Ideally, we go through this group like it's a breeze. We collect every point possible, but it's not always ideal. So we're going to have some adversity. We're going to expect it. Well, I think we should win the group. And going forward, we're going to have some big teams to deal with, but we'll get to that when that comes. And we don't have some great memories outside of the knockout stages, into the knockout stages. Hopefully we can create some.
Yeah, definitely. So looking forward to tomorrow, what players do you think that we're going to see? Do you want to go into the starting lineup?
Yeah, I would say just because Raya started, I'm going to go with Ramsdale. I think that was by Arteta. I think that was a play to give Ramsdale some rest for a midweek matchup. At Everton, we could, like in this group, we could take some chances. So let's see. Maybe Raya might start, but my guess is going to be Ramsdale. In the back, I'd say we might see maybe start Zinchenko, and one of Gabriel Saliba might come out for QBR. I would say probably, I don't know. I'd just pick one of them. I'd take out Gabriel. He hasn't been the beginning of the season. He wasn't starting Gabriel, so I guess he might be the expendable there. So then I would go with Saliba. I'd go with Ben White. I'd go with Rice. I'd go with Smith Rowe. I have that bias towards Smith Rowe. I would have maybe Vieira instead of Odegaard up top as well. Give Odegaard some rest, as we were saying. Trossard at the left, since we don't really have Martinelli right now. At the right, start with Saka. Let him play. And up top, Jesus or Eddie. It could be either one of them. Eddie started last game, so let's see Jesus start this game. So I would go at the end. I would go with Ramsdale, Zinchenko, Kiwior, Gabriel, and White. I'd go with Rice, Smith Rowe, Vieira, Trossard, Saka, and up top I'd go with Jesus. What about you?
Yeah, interesting. I have a lot of, I think, similar points, but some, differences as well. So I also think in that the way Arteta might have played it is, maybe give Ramsdale a little bit of a rest and get him ready for, the Champions League. So I'm going to go with Ramsdale in that. Left back, I think we might see like someone like QER start, So I'm going to go with QER at left back, then Gabriel and Saliba to stay, Ben White at right back. In the midfield, I'm going to go Rice, Partey, to work together as like a 6-8 or two sixes, two eights, and then Fabio Vieira in the attacking midfield. Like I said, I think just to give Odegaard a little rest, and Fabio Vieira has proved, the quality really doesn't drop if we have to switch him for Odegaard, maybe a little bit, but he still has more to prove. But anyway, Fabio Vieira in the 10 position, Trossard on the left. I also think Gabriel Jesus will start because Eddie's been starting in the Premier League, so I think he's going to give Gabriel Jesus to start, and then Saka at right wing. So yeah, and I also just wanted to comment that I'm also a big Smith Rowe fan. I would love him to start, but I wouldn't predict him to start. But I would love to see him come off the bench. Smith Rowe and Reece Nelson would love to see them come off the bench and get minutes, which I think they will. I do think they will. And Zinchenko too, come get some minutes.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I could see Odegaard starting because it is Champions League. He's the captain. You want to respect that.
Yeah.
But if I'm going purely based off of quality the team's reversing and giving players rest, that would be my lineup. So yours is interesting as well, though. Is Partey coming back this week? I didn't see anything on that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that a little bit, but I think he might, but I'm not sure. If not, if Partey isn't there, then I think that he might throw in Havertz to start to get him some more minutes and build up some confidence. So that if he's not ready, then I would probably switch Havertz out for that because I think he wants to get Havertz going some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
All
So
right. So we'll wait for tomorrow. And as usual, come on, you Gunners.
yeah, Gunners, yeah.